Good afternoon.
Oh,
I'll give you a heads up. I've got a couple polycoms to do that I
the
may
one-
ask for some. Austin Shaw, we'll do him later in a gap. And
Yeah.
Terry Wilson, that's a Three Rivers case. And Joseph Eicher apparently is going to enter a plea. He's
Yes.
left open. I
That was
have
retrial that I did.
Ulysses Chavez and K51. And I need Lori Hines on one of these. Her client is Austin Shaw, so we may do that while she's on the feed, but we're live. Let's see who K51 is. He's related to K-Pax. Rob is of the strong opinion that we should start to do these last pretrials live. Good afternoon. Who am I speaking with? K51. Could you unmute your microphone?
It's Joe Christ.
Joe Christ?
Yeah.
I saw you logged in earlier, Mr. Christ. I don't have anything set for you. Let me look.
I was told it was going to be rescheduled, but he didn't know if it was rescheduled yet, so it was today.
All right, let me look.
All right.
This happens a lot. We get people at the wrong time. So let me see what I can figure out. Who said it was going to be rescheduled?
My lawyer, Timothy George, I think his last name is.
All right. Well, let's see what we can figure out. He was just with Judge Pattison on the other side. You have a last pretrial next Thursday, July 8th.
Okay. At what time?
2:45.
All right.
Stip to adjourn, signed. Your attorney had some sort of conflict. So originally it was set for today, Mr. Christ. You're not crazy, but it got moved. Somebody had an issue with it. So that was July 25th. But apparently he hadn't gotten you that notice. So it's set for next Thursday at 2:45. I suggest you call your lawyer to talk with him, but
All right.
it was originally set for today, but it got moved.
All right. So
Okay,
July
thanks.
2:45.
Yep, next Thursday.
All right.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank.
All right.
All right, we'll remove Mr. Christ. So he's not crazy. He was here correctly. Lori Hines, Ulysses Chavez.
Hey.
Good afternoon. We're live here. We are on YouTube. We are on Zoom. Mr. Chavez, do you have an objection to doing this conference remotely?
No.
All right, rather than in person? Well, then we'll get right to it. This is file 21305 SM, People versus Ulysses Chavez. He's charged with aggravated assault and assault and battery. It's alleged that on or about October 29th of 2020, he did an aggravated assault upon Areli Arroyo. That's punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Did an assault and battery upon Amelia Arroyo and Gennaro Arroyo, which is punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Attorney Deborah Davis is here for the prosecutor's office, and your attorney, Lori Hines, is here. I guess I'll start with you, Lori. What's the status here?
When we were at the pretrial, I asked Casey to look at the YouTube plea that was in your courtroom on February 25th. And he said he was going to do that, and then we were going to set it for a last pretrial. I wrote to him by email on the 30th asking if he had looked at it regarding the co-defendants, their pleas, and then he said he was going to get back to me. I have not heard anything back from Casey, so I don't know what the status is, because my client was stating that he wasn't involved in the assault. It was between the two girls, and they did enter the pleas in your courtroom on February 25th.
Deborah, do you know anything about that?
I'm looking at the notes. I don't know anything about her and Casey emailing because there's nothing in the notes, but as far as the pleas between Aurelie and Daisy, it was like a mutual assault between the two of them, but this is separate and there's witnesses regarding what Mr. Chavez was alleged to have done. So I guess to me, it doesn't matter what they said at their plea because there was nothing about him. It was about what they did to each other.
Well, then the first thing was just a waste of time. I'm a little concerned that he didn't follow up on what he was going to do. Either say you're going to do it and do it, or now he didn't do it and you said it doesn't matter anyway. So all that discussion was for naught. Is there any plea offer here?
Yes, if he pleads to count one of aggravated assault, we dismiss the other two A and B counts, and the restitution at this point is $2,842. And it would include an agreement to pay that restitution.
What's your client's position, Lori? It sounds like not a positive one.
It was a fight between the girls. He said he wasn't involved, and now he feels like he's getting railroaded into a fight between two girls, and now he's the one that's taking the brunt of it.
Well, he hasn't taken anything yet. He's accused. He hasn't been convicted of anything. And Mr. Chavez, you have a right to have a jury trial on this. So I propose we just put this on the trial docket.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Like I said, it was a case between them two, and then.
All right, well, don't say anything more about it at this point, Mr. Chavez. Deborah, who do you have as witnesses?
Your Honor, we have Aurelie Arroyo, Amelia Arroyo, Andres Villafuerte, Genara Arroyo, Daisy Canizal Villafuerte.
Slow down.
Sorry, it's a long list.
I missed one. Aurelie, Amelia, Genera.
Andres Villafuerte.
Mr. Chavez, we're losing you. All right.
Daisy Canizal Villafuerte.
Mr. Chavez, we lost your signal for a bit. Yes, but just stay silent for a moment while we're getting this. All right, go ahead, Deborah.
Did you get Daisy Canizal Villafuerte?
Yes.
Eric Canizal? Irvin Canizal, spelled I-R-V-I-N. Sturgis police officers, Jimenez, Peterson, Stuck, and Moore. And Dr. Steve, I'm sorry?
What's Officer Stuck's first name?
Bryan, B-R-Y-A-N.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. All right.
And then Dr. Stephen, Stephen Bachmeyer, Bachmeyer, from Sturgis Hospital.
Do any of these people need translators?
That I am not positive on. I know Officer Jimenez did a lot of the interviews, but it appears that they were all in English. We did get some digital evidence today that I have requested, so Lori, check your Cerebus account. There should be
What's
pictures
that?
and body cams. It's the electronic account set up for the transfer of electronic evidence to the defense
Don't
attorneys.
you have to notice? Can you send me a notice of that? So I'll look. I mean, it's not like I go out and look at that.
I have no idea Rachel does it for the office, but I will.
Notice of that.
Somebody else had an issue, and that's always distressing. This is the last pretrial. This happened last October, and here we are, July, and the defense hasn't yet got all the exhibits. It's certainly getting better. It was abysmal. The new administration is doing much better, and Ms. Johnson and Ms. Davis and Mr. Johnson are both doing better, but it still irks me that it takes that long for them to get everything. So how do you even know how to assess your client's position without having seen all the evidence? But what else have you got, Deborah?
I think that's it. All of the medical records were presented previously.
All right. Lori, do you have any witnesses?
I would have to check with my client. Ulysses, do you have witnesses that you want for call for trial?
No, just myself.
And what about Daisy? Didn't you have your cousin or your brother? Didn't you have somebody with you?
No, nobody was with me. It was just Daisy and I.
All right. And you would want to, she's already been listed. Would you call her as a witness in your favor, or is she now a prosecutor witness?
In my favor.
She would testify in your behalf, Daisy?
Sorry, you're starting to break up. What was that?
Would Daisy testify in your behalf? She's listed as a prosecutor witness, but
I don't
Would
think
you
she
want-
did.
it appears it's my client only.
All right.
Lori, did you get all the supplementals of the witness investigation after? I mean, I would encourage your client to look through those pretty carefully. If this is,
What was sent to me was sent to my client. So I have, from the original report, I have a supplemental 60-588-020 by Brian Stuck. I have another supplemental dated December 4th, another supplemental dated December 5th. And then another request for restitution, and then another supplemental by Officer Jimenez. It says on December 4th. So those are the supplementals, and then I received the compensation with the doctor bills and requests for restitution. But I don't have any video body cams. I have none of that. And I have not received an email that there was something for me to look up from your office.
I just got them in this morning and they loaded them onto your Cerebus account. So I sent an email to Rachel at our office asking her to send you a notice.
All right, Mr. Chavez, it appears that we're gonna have to have a trial on this where people come in and testify under oath. And a judge, or in this case, a jury, decides whether you're guilty of these charges or not. We're not presently available to do a jury trial, at least through the rest of the summer. We're about to resume in September, but we have a number of cases in line ahead of yours. So it may be a few months before we can get this scheduled, but it's important that you stay in contact with your attorney. The bond conditions remain in effect. And if you have any change of address or circumstances, let your attorney know. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I mean, I'm fine with pretrial. I'm fine with that.
All right, well, you're good to go. Thank you.
Thanks.
Lori, I need your help. One of your clients got picked up, and I'd like to polycom him right now as long as you're here. This is Austin Shaw, who did not show up for his assigned jail sentence.
I'm gonna go grab my file.
All right.
Booking.
Hello, booking, Judge Middleton calling. Could I see Austin Shaw down at the Polycom room?
Yeah,
All right, or the arraignment room, either one is good.
right, yeah, we'll get him somewhere for you here in a minute.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
I can't find a file for him now. I'm gonna look him up in my system.
Well, I didn't look. The face sheet says that you're the attorney.
Well, I attended sentencing on May 24th. So I closed the file.
Okay,
So I'm not sure, is this something that,
this is gonna be a probation violation. He didn't show up for his sentence. This is one of those cases where we did a 1 month non-reporting probation.
yeah, I closed the file. My assistant's gonna go get the file.
Okay. We'll cram him in here.
He does have new charges. Are you gonna arraign him on that as well?
I didn't know that, and I got it right before lunch. And then I went into a meeting and I wasn't made aware that he has a new charge and he isn't in my on-base queue. Let me refresh it. Maybe they put him in there.
Case number is 21-1390 FY.
What's the new charge?
Possession of meth.
Darn it, he's not in my queue. I'm gonna have to get out of here and go into custom queries.
Josh just signed it this morning.
Oh, I should have. Like I said, it's right before lunch. I went into a meeting. I finished the meeting. I came in here. I should have looked it up, and nobody told me he had a new charge. Thanks, Debbie. I'm glad you're here.
I don't know if Austin's gonna be glad I'm here, but
Austin wasn't in video.
He's also got an extradition.
yeah, he's got a warrant for possession of meth out of LaGrange County, Indiana.
He was supposed to serve 10 days jail, but I didn't see where you ordered probation.
Well, let's take a look.
I show you ordered him to show up at the jail on May 24th at 7 p.m. to serve 10 days in jail. That's
Yeah,
what mine.
those are the type where I always ask for a 30-day non-reporting probation. So if they don't show up, we can.
Yeah, I did check it. 1 month non-reporting probation. Good afternoon, sir. Are you Austin Lee Shaw? This is Judge Middleton. I'm here with Assistant Prosecutor Deborah Davis and your original attorney, Lori Hines. You got arrested apparently yesterday. You were here on some charges which started as a felony: fraud, financial transaction device fraud, and larceny. I ordered that you do 10 days jail effective the 25th of May, and you didn't show up for jail. I put you on a 1-month non-reporting probation, so I would have the ability to alter the sentence. Let me ask you a couple questions. How did you get arrested last night?
I was sitting in my buddy's car in the parking lot. I was working on it, trying to figure out what was going on with it, and the cop walked up.
That was in Sturgis?
Yes.
And they realized there was a warrant for you?
Yeah.
Are you still at the Laura Drive address?
No.
Well, the allegation is that A, you're either in contempt, or B, you're in violation of your term of probation by not reporting to do your jail sentence. You would be entitled to have a hearing regarding whether you violated your probation or are in contempt for failing to report. That's why I asked your attorney, Ms. Hines, to be here. She was your original attorney who negotiated this misdemeanor plea. I had a fear, and Prosecutor Davis had a fear, that you would show up for your sentence, and you didn't. And I just sprung this on your lawyer like 2 minutes ago. So, Lori, would you like an opportunity to talk to him in the breakout room?
Yes, thank you.
All right, let me set that up. We now have 3 rooms at the jail, which is handy. Debbie, our 145 case, William Scott, is Melissa Halleck and William Scott. Fortunately, neither one of them are here yet, because this is unscheduled. Here's somebody else with a funky name. If I could fix it first, I would, but I have to bring them into the session before I can alter it. Darn it. Mr. Scott, is that you? Sorry, Laura, got a guy struggling to get connected with an inappropriate screen name. I'm bringing your client back from the breakout room. I'm gonna put Mr. S in the waiting room. We can't figure out what he's doing. We'll get with him in a minute. And 31 seconds till shutdown. All right, Mr. Shaw is back with us. By the terms of the order from May 25th, he was pled to larceny over 200 but less than 1,000. He was ordered to do 11 days, credit 1, and was supposed to start at 7 p.m. on 5/24. He was supposed to pay $249 restitution and the minimum allowable fine. And then he didn't show up for jail and a bench warrant issued for his arrest. I did not do a probation. Ms. Hines, have you had an opportunity to speak to the defendant?
Yes, I did. I talked to Austin. He did not have a ride to the jail. He's ready and willing to serve his 10 days in jail. As of now, he's there. And he apologizes for the court for not appearing at the jail on May 24th.
All right. Mr. Shaw, you acknowledge that you failed to appear as I ordered?
Yes.
Did you ever try to call anybody or confirm it?
No, I did not.
All right. You get 14 days, credit 2, leaving 12 days to serve. You get an extra couple of days for disobeying my order. Probation is revoked. There's no need for that. You still owe $75.50 and $249 restitution. It's $374. I made that due by September 1st. That's $374. I understand you've got a new charge to get arraigned on, and magistrate will see you shortly. But this didn't work out very well. You just waited around to get arrested, and then apparently they charge you with a new crime. Anyway, Lori, thank you for your help with this one. Mr. Shaw, you're good to go. You got a couple extra days for poking in the eye with a stick.
All right.
Thank you, Lori. That was very helpful to have you here. Now I have who I believe is William Scott. Don't see Melissa. Is there something going on in the family court?
Not sure. She might be half here and half in Pattison. I don't know.
Lori, you've also got Jason Walters. That's not till 2:15, so we've got a gap.
And then I have
All right,
a call at 3:30, so they spread them out.
I don't see that Melissa has any in Pattison's court.
No, they would be done by now. I'll send her an invite. Mr. Scott is struggling to get connected. Mr. Scott, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Scott? Yes, I can. Thank you.
All right, we can hear each other now. Awesome, sir.
All right, where are you?
Sitting in front of Bixby Coffee.
All right, well, stay right where you are. I'm going to put you in the waiting room while I wait for your attorney.
All right, thank you so much.
Here she is now.
Thank you so much.
All right. No, we're good. We found her. She logged in.
Afternoon. Sorry,
Good afternoon, Melissa.
I lost track of time.
Oh, Okay, well, I gave you a poke and here you are. This is file 21674 SM, People versus William Scott. Mr. Scott, we're here live on YouTube and Zoom. Do you have any objection to doing this pretrial conference virtually as opposed to in person?
No, sir.
All right, your lawyer, Melissa Halleck, is here. You're charged with 2 counts of domestic violence and 1 count of larceny less than $200. It's alleged that you assaulted Stephen Lavador, DV second, and larceny less than 200. Mr. Lavador is AWOL. He's failed to have missed several hearings. He's failed to appear at several hearings, and they issued a bench warrant for his arrest this morning for failing to appear on one of his cases. Ms. Davis, is there an offer here?
Our offer previously was that if he pled to an assault and battery, we would dismiss the DV second, dismiss the larceny, and we wouldn't seek a bond violation for him being on property he wasn't supposed to be. So I'm not sure what he and Ms. Halleck wanted to do with that.
Ms. Halleck, do you need to speak to your client?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
All right, let me close the other breakout room and I guess we're good to go. Mr. Scott, I'm going to put you in a separate space. Hopefully you'll be able to get back out of it, but
Now that I'm in, I should be good.
okay, good. All right.
All right, thank you, sir.
And also,
All right.
Melissa, we're not seeking to have him put on a probation or any further jail time.
Okay, that helps. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, we got Lexum. Good afternoon. Who am I speaking with? Hello, can you hear me? I can't hear you. This is Judge Middleton at the court in Centerville. Who am I speaking with? I can't hear you. Lexi, something. You gotta turn your,
I don't have anybody with her name on here.
I don't either. You need to turn your sound on.
On your audio setting, click use computer or internet audio.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yes. Hello, what's your name?
Alexis Maggart.
What's your last name?
Maggart, Maggert.
Are you a
Okay, so you-
witness in one of the cases?
Yeah, for Jamelia McFarren.
That's what I thought.
All right. All right, she's not set yet, but let me put you in the waiting room.
Okay.
You're the lady from Pizza Hut?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see how long Mr. Scott was in jail. He got arraigned at the jail on March 30th. He posted bond on March 30th. Then he failed to appear for his attorney pretrial. He had a bench warrant. I guess then contacted the court and said he forgot about it. So I think he spent 1 day, what's the date of offense? 29th, he spent 1 day in jail. I've got two, as I indicated, two more polycoms to do, but they don't really affect you, I don't think. Did you do the pretrial on Iker?
I did.
We were looking at him for sobriety court. What's the offer?
He's going to plea to the OWI second with the thought that I'm referring him to sobriety court.
We've got a gap.
Can I talk with Deb?
240. All right, well, let me bring him back.
Okay.
He might have to wait 59 seconds. All right, he's back. Mr. Scott, you're back with us. You had an opportunity to talk to your lawyer, Ms. Halleck. The prosecutor offered a plea to assault and battery, dismiss everything else, no additional jail time, and no probation. Did you have an opportunity to discuss that with your lawyer?
Yes, sir, and I am gladly taking that offer.
All right, let's talk about that.
Right.
What's that?
I was
All right.
just gonna, may have an issue with a factual basis, but go ahead.
All right, maybe we'll have to do it from the report or something. Mr. Scott, do you understand that if you plead guilty to this charge, you'll be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury? Do you understand? If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. Ms. Halleck has been here to represent you. You could also hire an attorney of your own choosing if you wished. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf, but you don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you. And you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, other than this plea agreement here, did anybody promise you anything to get you to plead to this? Mr.
No,
Scott,
sir.
or threaten you?
No, sir.
All right. Were you living out at Steve Lavador's place out there on Highfield Road?
Yes, sir.
Were you in the car with him on this day, March 29th, and there was some sort of disagreement?
It was actually in the driveway at the house, but yes, there was a disagreement and we exchanged words that day. Yes, sir.
Did you push him or shove him?
There may have happened. Yes, I will say yes because, yeah, we bumped chests.
Where are you staying now?
In between here, there, and everywhere.
All right. I'm going to follow the recommendation of the prosecutor. 1 day jail credit, 1 day. The fine is $0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee, a $50 state minimum fee, and a $150 attorney fee. It's $275. Are you working somewhere?
I'm doing odd jobs in and out. I will have to get a hold of your ladies there in the one office and set up a payment arrangement.
All right, I'll put payment plan, $50 per month, starting August 1. If you
Awesome.
pay it sooner, great, we'll get off your back.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, if you change your circumstances, oops. All right, you're good to go. You're there at the store. All right.
Thank you
That's
very much, sir.
$275 on a payment plan.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's good to bring closure to that case.
I'm shocked he showed up. I did not expect him.
As I indicated, I don't know where the complaining witness is. There's a warrant out for his arrest as of this morning. It sounds to me like he knows where he is and is still having contact with him, but I wasn't going to go down that road.
He's the victim in another case of Mr. Labrador, so just kind of a mess. His people will call your people though to get that payment plan set up.
Okay, I got people. I feel consider myself fortunate. In fact, I have a bunch of real smart and good people working for me. All right, that takes care of this guy. Melissa, our next one is Jamila McFerrin. The complaining witness is here. I'm going to allow her to come in and blank her screen out. But that one is set for 2, and your client's not here. I'll bring in Matt Huff.
Melissa, did you get into your Cerebus account to look at the video?
Yes, I've seen, well, they sent me the videos. It was
Oh, okay. Well, you got the videos either way. Because I didn't get any videos from you. I thought your client said she had one or something.
Yeah. Or no, it came from the victim.
I thought there was a YouTube video or something.
Yeah, it's a YouTube video. It shows basically this, I think the same thing that the other videos do. I mean, exactly what the police report. Right.
Did you send that one in? Because I've not seen that one. I was pulling them up to check. Let me see what my second one is.
One earlier today as well, and he said he was going to review the file. And
let me stop you for just a minute. She has logged in.
Okay.
She's late, but better late. Matt, we addressed Mr. Shaw while Lori Hines was available.
Okay.
He admitted that he failed to appear for sentencing. I gave him a couple of extra days in jail in order that he do the original 10, continued the probation or continued the restitution and revoked the probation. So there's no further supervision.
Okay.
So you don't need to do anything. And he just got a couple extra days jail for ignoring my order.
Gotcha. One quick question. Would you like the probation officers to file a status report in those new 1-month probation situations?
Not necessarily. We'll hope, well, yes, if they don't show up.
Okay.
The original discussion we had is if they show up as directed, then you don't need to do anything. If they don't show up, then I'd like an updated report.
So you want a status report? Okay. I'll make sure that that's how it goes forward.
All right. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. That takes care of Chavez.
Body
All
cam.
right.
Body cam.
So the second body cam seems to be the best view of the incident.
Yeah. I can't find ours. I don't know why. It's not saved to her file. It's not coming up under her name. And Trina's not here right now. She just left. She would. So. Well, so I talked.
I'm going to blank your screen out here, allow you to stay in. And we're going to bring the defendant in, start our pretrial.
I want to talk with Deb before we get started, if we can, or during, I guess.
Okay, well, that's fine. We got some time here.
I spoke with Casey earlier on this. He said he'd get back to me, and then Deb's here instead. So.
Well, she's connecting.
I don't see any notes from Casey. Like, what was he gonna get back to you about?
About a possible different offer or dismiss.
Not a dismissal.
Why? You don't even know what I told Casey and you're already
Well,
saying.
This is on the video,
Hold on,
and I have a victim.
Wait, let's wait for the client to get logged in here.
It's not just about prosecuting crime, Deb. There's issues of you're supposed to seek justice. Okay, you don't know this lady's circumstances. You don't know what's happening, what other charges she has had since then, and what I talked to Casey about. I mean, if you're not going to even listen to it, then I guess there's no point in negotiations. So do it.
Well, it's the second time this afternoon that we had a Casey interface and he didn't follow up on something. I'm not.
Yeah.
Judge Pattis and I just had a discussion this morning about what a good job he was doing and how prepared he is, and really seems to be growing as a young prosecutor. And we're happy that he's in-house and getting supervision, but we had a couple cases here where something happened. Ms. McFerrin, good afternoon. This is Judge Middleton. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Okay, we're here by Zoom. We are live on YouTube. Do you have any objection to doing this hearing remotely rather than in person?
No.
All right. You've been charged with assault and battery for an incident that allegedly occurred at the Pizza Hut on March 13th. It's alleged that you assaulted Alexis Meggert. The prosecutor is represented here by Deborah Davis, and your lawyer, Melissa Halleck, was here. They've been having some discussion while you've been logging in about discussion that Ms. Halleck had with another prosecutor. And Ms. Davis is not privy to that information. Deborah, as far as you know, what's the current plea offer?
The current offer was just a plea to an assault and battery.
No, it wasn't. It was to a disturbing the peace.
That was the offer at the first pretrial, but then I got the video and watched it. So,
okay, well, the proceeding will go to a jury trial.
All right, that's fine.
I did email Casey to see what notes he might have somewhere that weren't in the file.
Okay.
All right. Well, the disturbing the peace offer is apparently revoked by Ms. Davis. Let's talk about these videos. What do the attorneys have? There was discussion at the regular pretrial. They were going to get the videos. I don't know. They determined there was no remote camera in the store, but people filmed things on a telephone, which ended up on YouTube. What videos are there?
Go back in there for TV.
The videos that I have are the 2 body cams from the officers, and those have been provided to the defense.
And I just have the one video from the social media site, and I can provide that.
Do you have that, Deborah?
I do not.
All right, Halleck will provide a copy. And did Casey see that video, Melissa?
I have no idea.
We didn't have the videos until this morning, so I'm nearly certain he wouldn't have watched it until.
I've had it how did I get them then? And you didn't have them?
It was marked as 7-1, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's not correct. I'm pretty sure. I watched them over probably a week ago.
So I don't know if Casey watched them or not.
All right, well, I'm talking about the YouTube or the social media one.
We've not had that one at all.
What's the source of that?
Some customer, I don't know who.
Mommy, I stole my dog. Okay, just close the door for a second.
Your Honor,
Yes.
We had an employee on his break and he was out in the dining room and he was the one who got the video recorded that I had sent to, her name was Trina Beal, I think her name is. And I believe she gave that to Melissa. And
All right. So this is the complaining witness who just sort of jumped in here. So you sent it to the defense, but you didn't send it to the prosecutor?
I got a subpoena for the video footage from Trina, and she had told me to send her the video footage that one of our employees had gotten.
Okay. That explains where it came from. Thank you. I'm going to mute your mic for the time being, but thank you.
So I'm sure we can name this gentleman's name.
So,
you need to.
You made the extra step of subpoenaing it, and the subpoena went to you, so they complied with the subpoena sent to you. All right. Now, are there any other videos or information?
Our babies are still hungry.
Can you mute her?
Just a minute. Miss McFerrin?
Yes, Your Honor.
You've got a lot of commotion in the background. We've had the ability to do this by remote. In the very near future, these cases of people have to come to the courthouse again for just this kind of circumstance. I can't see you, and you've got a lot of commotion in the background. Let's see if we
Turn
can.
my camera off because my daughter came in the room, so I just didn't.
Well, people are doing the best they can. All right, the offer is essentially no offer, and your attorney says that we should just set this for a jury trial. Do you concur with that?
Yes.
Do you agree? All right, Deborah, who do you have for witnesses?
Right, we have Officer Greenhouse. And sorry, let me flip to the other screen. Alexis Maggart. Hopefully I said her last name correctly.
Yes.
I guess the unnamed employee that sent the video. I'm not sure who that is. And why is the other officer's name?
I'm not sure he's crucial if the foundation could be laid otherwise, but
right.
Well, if he was videoing one, he also saw it, so he's a race just eyewitness.
Right.
Just a minute. Alexis, could you unmute your microphone?
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the name of the person who made the video?
His name is Isaiah Mallow. He had posted it on Facebook that night, and I had him take that down because I didn't feel as if that should be posted on social media.
Probably correct. All right, thank you. Were there any other witnesses in the store?
There were 2 customers that I could personally reach out to, and then we had a whole crew that night that had seen it.
We also have Sergeant Matthew Stark.
All right, would you provide the list of those names to the prosecutor and she'll share them with the defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Melissa, do you have any witnesses you wish to call?
Just my client. Well, and actually, I thought we were pleading today to a possible disturbing the peace, so I guess I should consider that's all the witnesses that we have.
Okay.
According to the police report and what I've discussed with her so far, she would be my only witness. But
okay, well, I'll allow 60 days to provide those names. It's going to be a while before we can do this. So the first you knew that the plea offer was changed was when you got here?
yeah, when Miss Davis just told me. Even this morning, Casey didn't correct me.
Well, that's not a good right hand, left hand circumstance. Miss McFerrin, apparently there was an earlier offer to plead to disturbing the peace. That offer has been withdrawn by Miss Davis, and so you're left with the principal charge. And after consulting with your attorney, we're going to set this for a jury trial. Miss Maggart, the same thing goes for you. We're going to apparently bring all the witnesses in and take testimony under oath regarding what happened, and we may have some videos to watch. This may take more than one day, but we'll make time for it. It's going to be some time before we can do this. We've got a number of cases currently set. Some go all the way back to, one is a 2019 case. It was set for trial right when the COVID shut everything down. So we're just in the process of reopening our jury trial system. So we hope to start doing those cases early in the fall. Do you have any questions?
Who will I be sending the witnesses to?
Send them to the prosecuting attorney's office.
Okay.
In fact, you may want to be in contact with her victim advocate, and she'll share it with the defense.
Okay.
All right, anything further we need to do on this case?
I'll speak with Casey about it. He actually just stepped in. I'd sent him an email, but he was busy on other matters. So Melissa, after I talk with Casey, maybe we can touch base with you.
Sure.
All right, Miss McFerrin, you're good to go.
Okay.
So we're,
Okay, Your Honor.
thank you.
Talk to you later, attorney.
All right, yeah, you stay in contact with your attorney. And Miss Maggart, I'm going to remove you as well.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think I'm all set too.
All right, Melissa, I guess you're off the hook. I got
Have a good afternoon.
Timothy, Timothy J. Reed for our 230 case, and Lori Hines is here for our 215 case. However, our 215 defendant is not here. This is file 20272. It's entitled People versus Jason Walters. He's charged with no insurance and no valid license plates and something else. The matter was set for today. He's not here. What do we know about this case?
At the June 11th hearing, he showed up. And we set for last pre-trial for the defendant to explore a license restoration. Since that date, I have not heard from him. I've mailed him to the funeral office. I do have a phone number. Well, I don't have a phone number. The phone number is for the business that's next door, and then they go give him notice. So he doesn't even have a phone number that I can call.
We're going to do a bench warrant. He has a very extensive driving record. Bond is $250 cash or surety per file. I have a 48-hour hold before I can issue the warrant. I'm not going to do an immediate warrant on a traffic case, but he's got a lot of baggage on his driving record. There's the driving suspended first, the improper plate, and the no insurance. Or C judge. If he does show up, Lori, I'll send you an email bump and ask you to rejoin us.
All right, I will be back then, what, at 3:30? Have one more.
Do you have another one?
3:30.
Oh, 3:30, yes. I'm not sure how that happened. I apologize.
Who do you
Well,
have? Lori? Do you have mine, Lori?
Yes, I do, TJ.
Alyssa Oswald.
My counteroffer to you was just a civil infraction of disturbing the peace. She's very adamant that she was taken advantage of by her prior boyfriend and was really upset. So,
That's fine, but it didn't give her the license to treat the police the way she did, so.
you know, but I think she was really upset on how she was treated. She states, I was raped and no one wanted to do anything about it. So,
Well, she can have I mean, she's been in jail. She failed to appear on the one.
I only have her in one case.
Right, she failed to appear and got arrested on the bench warrant, correct?
She appeared.
What's that?
Oh, yeah. On January 21st, she did not appear, and there was a bond of 500. All right, I'll try to get a hold of her, Your Honor. If I can get a hold of her, do you want her to call in?
Yeah, well, she's set for 3:30, so if she comes in earlier, we'll deal with it
We'd
earlier.
recommend time served on a plea to it. I mean, she's been arrested.
Just a minute, I looked this up, and there's a little more to this.
I know that the court, I know she's got a few days in. I know that. I'm not exactly sure the exact number.
But if she does a disturbing the peace, or a civil infraction, wouldn't it be just fined? I mean,
Well, she got another disturbing the peace. She got arrested on June 14th, and she posted bond on June 14th. She had a pretrial yesterday, and this AS 400 hasn't been addressed. Updated. So she was supposed to be here yesterday for a pretrial.
Who was it supposed to be a pretrial with? The county or me? Because if it was with me, she wasn't there.
It's a SM case, so it's a county domestic violence disturbing the peace.
Okay.
I'm going to go in custom queries and see if I can see what happened to it. She allegedly assaulted Zachary Julian on May 17th and was charged with disturbing the peace. She had a pretrial request a court-appointed attorney. So that's going to be set for further proceedings. So she has another newer disturbing the peace and domestic assault. So we'll address that when she's here. All right, thank you. We'll see you in a bit. Your client, Mr. Wilkins, is in the courtroom or in the waiting room.
Yeah, might as well wait for Nora to show up to see.
Oh yeah, this isn't Deborah's case.
Hey, Debbie.
Yes, TJ.
I'm going to shoot you an email about an appearance I filed yesterday, but to ensure that I don't get a client double arrested again.
You know I don't have control over that, right?
Yeah, you do.
Yes, you do.
You have 100% control over it.
I was
That's
afraid
my boss. It's my boss's.
No. You have 100% control over that. So the legislature passed went to these great lengths to criminal justice reform to ensure that citizens aren't, being their rights violated. So instead now in St. Joe County, it's more restrictive and you're more likely to get arrested twice for the same offense than you ever were before.
But you're throwing something on me that I have no clue. So I will.
What's happening is you guys, and again, I think we got it figured out.
We're on the live feed, so maybe
I don't want to go into
I think we got it figured out.
I was afraid this exact sort of thing was going to happen when this policy change went into effect. We've been very concerned about people getting double arrested. And
Got it figured out yesterday, Your Honor. I did have a really good conversation with the prosecutor, and we kind of discussed it. And at least I left with the impression that they were going to make the modification that the summons process was going to be taking place as opposed to the complaint warrant process. Part of it, terminology, because we never had this complaint summons before. It was always complaint warrant. And we did this fictitious notice to appear type sticky note that would go on some of them. But now they actually have the process to actually send it out as like a civil case. So I think that's what he indicated to me they're going to look at doing on these cases, as opposed to shipping off a blue sheet, issuing a warrant, and then rearresting somebody who already spent time in jail.
yes, I have a very big concern about it. Somewhere there's an email that I'll see if I can find and forward to you.
Okay.
Expressing our concern about it.
And, a lot of my concern comes down to the fact that, I got people coming in who are like, let's say we're arrested over the weekend for OWI cases, and the only paperwork they have is a 625G permit. They don't even have a bond receipt. And so they're going, what am I supposed to do? When do I show up to court? Do I just basically wait till they show up and arrest me?
This bears certainly further discussion, but I don't really want to do it.
Oh, you're fine.
But yes, you raised some legitimate issues. And now esteemed Nora Geiger has joined us, and the esteemed Michael Hills has also joined us. Mr. Hills, we're in the middle of a case that's ahead of yours, but you're welcome to just sit in.
All right. I'm good.
All right.
I may have to tag you in for some help, Mike.
I'm here. Just let me know. I'll unmute.
All right.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Wilkins. This is two files, People versus Joshua Wilkins, file 21843 SM and 202135 SM. Both charge child abuse in the 4th degree because of a conflict with Mr. Marvin's election to office. The Branch County Prosecutor's Office has been appointed to be a special prosecutor in this case, and Ms. Nora Geiger is here. Nora's been on a lot of St. Joe County cases. I think she'll be glad when her assignment here is done. She can get back to just handling Branch County cases, but thank you for assisting us. We had a pretrial about 2 weeks ago, and we bumped it to today for some further follow-up. TJ, I guess I'll defer to you first. What's our status here?
I don't know. I was going to talk to Nora, and I think need to speak.
All right, so you need to go in a breakout room?
Yeah.
All right, let me send you in there, and I'll be right here. Maybe we'll talk to Mr. Hills and Deborah about her case. Mr. Wilkins, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room. We haven't forgotten you, but I'll let you wait. We'll bring you back in a minute. All right, Deborah, you've got Mr. Hills on David Bourbeau allegedly assaulting somebody at the bowling alley. No, the golf course.
Similar, a little different.
Where all the good assaults occur out at Pine View. Mr. Hills has been retained by Mr. Bourbeau, who's not here yet. The matter isn't set until 2:45. But is there an offer here?
Well, I reviewed everything today. Let me scroll up. We would not amend it to an aggravated assault if he just pleads as charged to the A and B with restitution. But if we're going to go to trial, then we would amend it to be an ag.
Yeah, I think this is a good case from my perspective. Ag or no ag, the dude deserved to get dotted.
Mike.
He did.
Well, there's a he deserved it defense that's not exactly encoded anywhere, but all right, we'll wait till he's here and then
I'll do a little research.
Was there a discussion regarding disturbing the peace?
Yeah,
I think no notes from anything prior for me to go off of, really.
All right.
Nothing formal. I think that's what we had discussed, but there was no offer of that.
Deborah, what's the nature of the aggravated injury?
He had a broken cheekbone.
Oh, I don't know if that was in the affidavit or not.
And we have a pretty intense victim impact statement that I have to take into account. So that's kind of.
I haven't seen any medical. Have you seen medical on that broken cheekbone?
There is a bunch of medical stuff in here. Let me see. It's Dr. Brandon K is the one who was the attending physician. Let me see if I can find this stuff.
The reason I ask is I was contacted by the civil attorney, and he said that there were no broken bones. No, it was just superficial.
My note from the victim advocate was that his cheekbone was broken. So they were wondering why it wasn't an egg. So let me see.
So the defendant has a civil attorney to pursue a civil action against the defendant?
That's my understanding.
Yep.
Who's that attorney?
Philip Hamilton.
Where's he from?
Kalamazoo.
I'm not familiar with him. Okay, well, that adds another aspect
The only
to this.
medical stuff I have are like the after visit summary.
Yeah, the prosecutor I dealt with before said, I can't because there's a break. And I'm like, okay, well, show me something if there's a break, because the civil attorney is saying there's nothing broken.
So it's on the after visit summary, it says closed fracture of left side of maxilla, initial encounter.
Okay.
And I have not spoken with the civil attorney. I generally wouldn't, so I'm not sure what's going on there. Yeah, and the diagnosis from the patient summary is fracture of the zygomaticomaxillary complex. So there you go.
Sounds complicated.
Yes, I will send this to you.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like the medical leaflet given was for a facial fracture.
Okay.
I don't know why all of this is in the victims' rights folder, so it doesn't look like it went to you as part of discovery. So let me figure out who's in charge of getting that to you.
Any visit to Fisher Lake envisioned over the 4th?
No, we're gonna stay close to home. We have
Your own lake.
What?
At your own lake?
Yeah, we have a big ski where we try and get as many skiers behind one boat as possible. And so I've been driving the boat for a while, so I'm designated driver.
They had a competition between Fisher Lake and Corey Lake as how many skiers they could get up at once. I've done it a few times. You need a bunch of kids in order to do it. And you get 7 people up and somebody falls down and you got to get the ropes all untangled. And I believe at Corey, they had a lead boat and that pulled this is dangerous, but they had some sort of cable hookup or something to help the skiing boat pull the skiers up. I think they got like 14 people up. I don't remember. And, but I'm trying to keep the rope straight and get the people in there and not bash into each other, and hope you got good liability insurance.
Yeah, it's
whenever I did it, somebody else would always fall down, and then there we were.
Our
Here's your
record.
client.
Huh?
What's your record?
13. And so we have 2 boats, and one with 10, and then one with 7, and then you bring them in and switch and bring them in and switch.
Oh my God, that seems so dangerous.
It is a bit.
Giving me anxiety
And
thinking about
you
it.
have a much bigger lake. Yeah, that's, like I said, I hope you got good liability insurance.
I got umbrella policy.
Are they on 1 or 2 or wakeboards, or what are they on?
No, 2 skis, and you're right. Mostly, if we can get young teenagers, skinny young teenagers that don't weigh a lot, it's easier to get them up. With 10 people.
Problem is, no teenagers ski anymore.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But we got a full boat, and we've got leftover. But rope pullers, as you mentioned, are important too, because somebody falls, you got to pull those ropes in. And on the other boat, they're dropping that rope and picking up another rope. So that rope's dropped and it's got to be picked up.
It seems like a terrible idea. I'm putting it on the record, Mike, that this is a terrible idea. I like you, but that's a bad idea.
Yeah, my wife agrees.
All right, we kind of got sidetracked here. Good afternoon, sir. Are you David Borbeau?
I am, Your Honor.
We've been just kind of passing the time here while I waited for, you're not late. Your lawyer was a little early and we're in a gap in another case. So we've been talking about some things that are off the record, really. But at any rate, you're charged with assault and battery in this case, which is file 21664 SM. Do you have any objection to doing this proceeding remotely here by a Zoom connection?
I do not.
And we are live on YouTube and we are on the Zoom platform. In discussions here, the prosecutor shared that the complaining witness has a broken cheek and have some medical records apparently to reflect that. The plea offer would be to plead to assault and battery, and the prosecutor would not charge the higher 1-year misdemeanor of aggravated assault. We also learned that there is a potential civil lawsuit for monetary damages for this incident, which would precipitate probably the necessity for a no contest plea if there were any sort of plea to this. Our discussions were not leaning toward a plea, leaning more toward a trial. Mr. Hills, do you want to have an opportunity to discuss that plea offer with your client?
Yeah, that's fine. It shouldn't take very long. If you want.
Well, the problem is I don't have 2 breakout rooms open. Let me see if I can only put you in the same room as TJ and Nora Geiger, so we'll just have to
It's fine. I don't think we need.
All right.
And
so,
Judge, what are your thoughts on a delayed sentencing where it would be either reduced to a disturbing the peace or dismissed after completion of what we would normally look at, like a domestic violence type deferral, so an anger management class, staying out of trouble, that sort of thing?
If you can fashion such an agreement, I would not be stand in the way. It'd certainly have to be by no contest. But yeah, I would consider that if you guys can thread the needle on such an agreement.
So Mike, basically it would be a no contest plea. I don't think we can do it taken under advisement. Judge, correct me if I'm wrong, but so that it wouldn't impact anything with the potential civil case. But he would complete an anger management class, stay out of trouble, and at the conclusion of, say, a 6-month period where it would be this probation, if there weren't any further issues and he successfully completed the anger management class, we could even potentially dismiss. I don't know. What are your thoughts as far as that goes?
If on a delayed sentence dismissal, we could. I mean, I've got people here that do anger management assessments and then follow through with recommendations. I would certainly talk to my client about that for sure.
Okay. So I guess talk to him about that and see if that's something that he would entertain doing.
Just a moment. I brought them back, so let me close that breakout room, and then I can give you an opportunity to talk to your client. Mr. Borbeau, once upon a time, we'd all be here at the courthouse and you could just walk down the hall and have a discussion with your lawyer. we are close to probably doing these last pre-trials in person. We've been discussing what we're going to do by Zoom, what we're going to do live. We got today from the Michigan Supreme Court a draft of a proposal where they're encouraging us to do all non-evidentiary matters by Zoom. Maybe I'll share that with your office. Anyway, let me open a breakout room. Mr. Borbo, you and Mr. Hills can discuss this. There's no need for a nail this completely down today. If we can, fine. But at least we can start the discussion.
Sure. Thanks.
All right, we got a lot going on here. Let me bring Mr. Wilkins back in. While you guys were talking, we jumped in. Mr. Borbo, do you see something that says join? There it goes. Mr. Wilkins, we didn't forget you. We were working on another case, and your lawyer and prosecutor have been talking. I'll defer to you, Mr. Reed. What's our status here?
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Geiger and I spoke, and I'll let her confirm that I believe we're asking the court to adjourn this and put it for another last pretrial. Ms. Geiger wishes to meet with the young man in this particular case, and is, to her credit, she's reached out to the caseworker and has kind of facilitated a means to get that done. But in the meantime, would stipulate to allow or to remove the no contact provision between Mr. Wilkins and the minor child in this particular situation, as long as Mr. Wilkins continues to his same level of cooperation with the Department of Health and Human Services that has been going on since April or May of this year.
Don't say anything.
Josh, don't say anything.
I'm not sure I'm willing to lift the no contact provision. There are 2 cases set for trial. He's a potential witness. And we've been kicking this can down the road now for a long time. I understand your frustration. This first allegation happened in April of 2020, but then there's an allegation that there was another assault on the same child on April 23rd of 21. So we've got 2 charges. I am cognizant of the fact how disruptive this has been to the family, but I lifted the no contact provision and we ended up with another charge.
There was never no contact provision in the first place, and the charge only came after the child realized Mr. Wilkins could get in trouble for the child say so.
All right. Well, I don't know the facts of that. I know the prosecutor was enough to charge it, so you're certainly more in it with the facts. But anyway, that's always an issue and a concern. Ms. Geiger, what's your position?
Your Honor, when I first when he was arraigned, I believe, on the new charge, and we had discussed the no contact order at that time. At that time, one of my biggest concerns, and the reason I was requesting a no contact order, even though it had been quite a period of time since the first case had been issued, was I was concerned regarding mom's level of cooperation, not only with CPS, but with our office and her ability to protect her child. My understanding, based on my conversations with the CPS worker in this case, is that there has been a change in that level of cooperation. Mom has been following the requests of the department. I know the department was trying to get a service in the home, but at the time with the no contact order, mom was living temporarily with her parent or with her parents with the children. I believe at this point in time, mom and the 3 children, the other children other than the victim, have moved back into the home. I believe the victim in this case is still living with a grandparent. But my understanding, at least my last conversation with Ms. Bordner, was that they were looking at getting a service in the home, or services in the home. And I believe she actually, to Mr. Wilkins' benefit, she had asked him to participate in a service or an evaluation. He did do that. So I guess from my standpoint, there has been a change in the level of cooperation of both Mr. Wilkins and the mother of the victim in this case. So I have a lot less concerns regarding the safety issues I had before. I also indicated to Mr. Reed that my intention was to meet with the victim prior to this court hearing, but with all my different dockets I'm covering, I didn't realize it had been rescheduled for this Thursday, so I hadn't been able to get in touch with the mother to set up a meeting with Kyle. So ultimately, I guess my perspective is I don't necessarily have an objection if the court were to change the no contact order. Some of the concerns that I had have been addressed by the CPS worker in this case. And then once I'm able to meet with the victim, I'm hopeful that we may be able to come to a resolution in this case.
All right, well, let's first, Laura, would you bring me the last pretrial list? I didn't have the presence of mind to bring it in with me. Mr. Wilkins, tell me again where you're staying.
I'm at 10882 Vidzemi Road.
Okay, and who's that? Was that the home? Okay. Well, we've got vacation judicial conference. That would take us out to August 5th. Is that enough time or too much time?
I mean, I guess if the no contact provision is lifted, that's fine.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. You draft the order with the conditions. If Nora signs it, I'll sign it as a stipulated order to amend the bond.
I mean, the only condition we're asking for is that the no contact be lifted and he continue to cooperate with CPS.
That's fine.
I mean,
is that agreeable with you, Ms. Geiger?
That's fine with me.
All right. Well, those conditions, if you both sign it, I'll sign it. All right. So then the timing isn't so acute.
Correct.
Is August 5th acceptable?
I'm out of town on August 5th.
Well, then August 11th is the district judges conference.
And I would say this, if Miss Geiger has a chance to meet and she gets with me in the meantime, after she meets with him, we may be able to schedule this for a disposition.
Well, how about July 29th?
Yeah, I have a trial scheduled, but I don't think it's going to go. It's a civil trial. But yeah, that's fine, Your Honor. The 29th will work just fine for me.
All right. Does that work for you, Ms. Geiger, in the afternoon?
The only thing I have in the afternoon that day is I do have a meeting for our family treatment court that we're trying to develop. It's supposed to last till 3, but if I have to leave a little early to come down here, I'd like to do
how about
that.
if we set it for 3:15?
That would be fine with me. Thank you.
And Nora, I will send over today a stipulated order to amend bond, with just those two provisions, that everything else will remain in effect in that order. That does that work for you, Your Honor? That all other previous?
Yes, it does. Thank you. I'd like to have a clear record on it.
And on the caption, just so the court is aware, I'll put both case numbers. Is that correct? Because I know that there's
21843 and 202135.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We'll get that over to Ms. Geiger. Josh, I'll give you a call in a little bit. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. 729 at 3:15. Thank you, TJ.
Thank you. Thank you, Nora.
Thank you.
Are you done today, or you got some more here with us?
I'm done for today. I have more with Judge Middleton in the morning.
All right. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, some dum-dum, namely me, scheduled a whole bunch of things on the Friday before the 4th of July.
I
Very
saw
busy.
that. Holy
Very
cow.
busy pretrial docket tomorrow and a busy landlord tenant. I looked at it, who did this? Oh,
I
yeah.
also added in a bond violation hearing.
I
Thanks.
saw the calendar, then I saw the docket in the morning. I thought, man, I thought my calendar was just busy enough. And then everything else you added on that's non-criminal. It's like, goodness.
Well, Judge Patterson's gonna be gone tomorrow and I think next week. And I don't know, just the first Friday of the month. My kids are home too, so I'll be at work and they'll be doing their 4th of July festivities. At any rate, thank you. Nora, I'll see you in the morning. And TJ, are you here tomorrow too?
I'll be in the morning. I've got a couple more waiting for Lori here. I think at 3. I've got a 3.
Oh yeah, you've got Elisa Oswald.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that case, I guess, before you got here, and Mandy Allen.
Mandy Allen is the other one I have. Yeah. So.
All right, I'll see you in a bit then.
All right.
I will see you in the morning, Judge.
Bye,
Thank you.
Nora. Debbie, did you get my email?
I was doing some other work, so I will look.
Debbie, I'm gonna bring in those other 2 people we were waiting on, Terry Wilson and Joseph Eicher from the jail. There's only so many hours in the day. Hello, Deputy Tyler. You're much more polite than that other guy that said.
I try.
Bugging.
I'm trying to get up there. See, I'm letting you guys know.
Okay, that's fine with me. Could I see a couple customers? Joseph Eicher and Terry Wilson.
Joe Eicher and Terry Wilson. Yeah, give me a couple minutes. I'll get them down there.
All right, thank you very much.
No
All right, bye. You know, I hadn't seen a lot of the corrections guys in quite some time, except for that party they had or that fundraiser. And so I got to see a lot of those guys face to face that I hadn't seen in some time. At any rate, we're still on the record. We're still on Zoom, and we've got Mr. Michael Hills and Mr. David Barbeau back with us. Deborah Davis is still here. Mr. Barbeau and Mr. Hills have been in a breakout room. Michael, what's our status here?
We'd ask for a little bit of time to consider it. I mean, my client is considering it, but you know, this is kind of sprung on him, and he had a lot of questions. I answered him to, you know, but he would like a little bit more time if we could come back.
All right, well, here's our options. We can simply set it on the jury trial docket, or we can reset this last pretrial out a bit.
Doesn't matter to me.
What's your preference, Deborah?
Well, I trust that if Mr. Hills is going to want a trial that he would let us know. And so I think if we just simply set it on the trial docket so we're not jamming up with another last pretrial, if there is a plea, he'll schedule it.
All right, well, let's prepare then. Who are our witnesses?
There's a long list. Maybe we should set for another last pretrial if I don't do my huge list.
Well, how about if you just submit the witness list?
Yeah, actually, it's shorter than the last one and probably easier name. So MSP Trooper Hoffmeister. Timothy Shaver, Shaver. Madeline Stockwell. Tori Brown, which is Tori.
You sure? Is that a he or a she?
It's a she. That's how it was spelled in the police report.
All right. There's also a Torey, Torey Brown. He's running
Yeah.
for city commission.
No, I think this is a female one. Ralph Paul Vellum, Vellom. Gary Hunt. And Dr. Brandon Kay.
Michael, do you have any witnesses you wish to call?
Probably not one, actually. Probably.
Medical reports, are there any photos or phone cam videos or satellite surveillance pictures or anything?
Google Earth. We have some pictures. I think the defendant provided some pictures to the officer, but I don't have those. So we sent out a request today for any MVS or pictures that they have. We do have a few pictures of the victim. Mike, did you receive those?
I'm looking right now.
They were in the victim tab. So I'm not sure if they were sent to you as discovery or not.
I don't think so. I'm just running through them all right now. So I've got several supplements here. Oh, yep. Got them.
You do have them, okay.
I'm going to note in here, parties will continue to consider a negotiated plea. Mr. Barbeau, if this matter is resolved, I may see you sooner rather than later. If it is not resolved, it may take several months before this matter can be brought to trial because we have a backlog of cases that have yet to be tried. We're going to start trying them early this fall, and hopefully that will resolve a lot of cases also. So at any rate, my advice is stay in contact with your attorney. I don't think that's a problem here. Don't get in any other trouble. And if there's a settlement, we'll put that on the record when the attorneys are available. Anything further?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, best of luck in your endeavors this weekend.
We're watching for the news story or the TikTok or YouTube video.
Is that Allegan County? Is that where that is?
It's Berry County, actually.
Berry County. All right, we'll keep our eye on the news feed for them. All right, thank you.
I'll send you the link. I have a video from last year.
All right.
I'll send you one too, Deborah.
Take care, Mike.
Okay, see you guys.
All right. The next case is 330, which is Oswald. So we have about a half an hour gap here where I attempted to TJ, I don't know if you knew this. Mandy Allen failed to appear and got picked up on a bench warrant. So she had done 3 days in jail for that.
What is the current chart? I've got it somewhere.
It's an illegal entry. It's a strange set of facts, but I didn't know there was an ordinance illegal entry.
Ours, I mean, she believed disturbing the peace, DTP, with time served for all we care. I mean, this is one
All right,
where.
well, first of all, we'll see if she shows up. She's been struggling.
Yeah, and she was very distraught in this situation. So I mean, we're totally. I mean, I'm not
All
trying.
right,
We're
well, let me take care of some other business here. Could I see Ms. Wilson first?
1 second.
Hey Debbie, are you on this case that's coming up?
Which one?
I don't know what's going on now.
This is a Three Rivers ordinance, but you guys need to talk to each other.
Yeah, can I talk to Debbie real quick in a breakout room?
Yeah, we close the breakout rooms and then I'll open one and you guys can discuss at your leisure. I have not mastered doing.
Is it supposed to be that way?
The camera needs to be adjusted.
There's something wrong with the camera.
Well, I can see the back of her head.
Yeah.
We've got
Nancy, to point it
yeah,
down.
there you go.
Here, let me do it this way.
There, stand up and
Okay.
don't turn around.
Well, no, just turn around. That's fine. Right like that. We'll make it work. All right. Are you Terry Lee Wilson?
Yes.
This is Judge Middleton. I'm over here at the courthouse. You're there at the jail. Do you have any objection to doing this remotely like this with the Polycom?
No.
All right. You got charged with violation of a restricted license, which frankly isn't really all that serious of an offense. It's alleged that happened on November 22nd of 2020. You got arrested in February, and there was a $200 bond. Then you got a PR bond, I think, when you got arrested in March. You pled not guilty on April 23rd, and we set a pretrial for May 11th. You didn't show up on May 11th, so I sent you a letter. I did something called an order to show cause, and the mail was returned. So I did another order to show cause for June 8th, and you didn't show up. So on June 9th, we issued a bench warrant for your arrest and set bond in the amount of $250. The original charge, violation of a restricted license, is not really all that serious of a charge. It's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100, I believe. It probably could have been resolved, but you didn't show up. What happened?
Right now, I'm gonna tell you the truth. My life went downhill a lot. When I had the DUI, the reason why I had the DUI in the first place, you know, I was dealing with CPS. My kids got taken. I've been homeless. Just life's hit me pretty hard.
Yes. Well, what about this old traffic case? If you plead guilty to this, I'm going to give you time served and a fine and give you an opportunity to pay it. What's your thought regarding that?
I'm sorry, what is it?
I would give you a day in jail, well, 2 days, the one day you did earlier and the one day now, and give you a fine and give you time to pay the fine. What's your thought regarding that?
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you, I don't want to bully you or threaten you into this. The public defender isn't here. But let me ask this. How did you get arrested last night?
Last night I got arrested because I went up to a workplace where a friend was because my so-called boyfriend was up there with a friend, and I went off on him because they were doing drugs, and I asked them to fucking quit, and I told him he was on 7411, and he wanted to be an asshole, and I went to the store to grab a little kid pop because he spilled it, and she told me to get out of the store, and I told her to call the cops on me. I said, I'm not leaving. I said, I'm getting this kid a pop. She called the cops, and I didn't.
Where was this?
BP and Brewers.
All right. Are you still living on Portage? Are you still living on Portage Ave?
No. I was staying at the domestic shelter.
And then they arrested you on this warrant. Did you
Yeah,
get charged? Did you get charged with anything else?
Yeah, I guess I had a charge from February. I didn't know that they had it. I thought it got thrown out when I came to court or when I got arrested for this. I guess there was something else, and I thought they threw it out, and they didn't.
Well, let's see what that is. That is larceny of building charge that you need to be arraigned on. All right, well, what do you want to do regarding this traffic case?
As far as the traffic case, I'm going to be in jail for the next whenever, so I guess.
Well, let me ask this again. Let me repeat it. I don't want to make this look like it's unfair. This is a relatively minor offense, violation of a restricted license. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100. It will probably result in the revocation of your restricted license. You spent 1 day in jail in April when you got picked up on this, and you spent another day yesterday to today because you got picked up on this warrant because I gave you 3 chances to show up and you didn't show up. I offered you to give you 2 days jail, credit 2 days, and give you time to pay the fine if you plead to the charge. You don't have to plead to the charge. I can appoint an attorney. We can set a hearing on this if you wish. What do you want to do about this allegation that last November you were driving in violation of a restricted license?
I'm gonna plead to the charge.
All right, other than what I said to you here, did anyone promise or anything to get you to plead to this?
No.
Or threaten you?
No.
Were you driving a car in Three Rivers on November 22nd?
Yes.
Were you supposed to have a licensed driver in the car with you?
I think so, yes, yes.
And you didn't have one?
No.
I wasn't clear. I mentioned I got these polycoms like 2 minutes before lunch, and I had a meeting at lunch, and then I picked them up and brought them in here, and I wasn't apprised of the fact that you had another charge. Have you seen the magistrate yet?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give you 2 days, credit 2 days, $175 crime victims rights fee, $50 state minimum fee, $125 or 2 more days, which will be concurrent with your other case, 211363FY. They'll be arraigned on that in a bit. When you meet with the magistrate, you can give them your current address. Where was this place of work you were talking about? At the BP station? Or who worked there? Your ex-boyfriend?
No, it's supposed to be my friend. They were
Okay.
texting me telling me that my boyfriend was up there and
All right, I don't want too much. Now, one time you worked at Precision Wire. Were you still there?
no, I'm not working there either.
Okay.
I worked at BP Precision and Aquatic.
All right. Well, I'm not sure what else to say. This takes care of this old traffic case. You're struggling, and you were pretty upfront about it, but that when people get struggling, they don't show up for court. I gave you actually 3 opportunities to come to court because I didn't want to do a bench warrant for your arrest. I may have even tried to call you up. Is your phone number still ending 4552? All right, yeah, so I tried to get a hold of you, but you ended up getting arrested. And it sounds like stubbornness. I don't know if there's a new charge from last night. If there's this other case they're going to arraign you on. That completes this case, the traffic case. Magistrate will see you on this other larceny charge. And your fine's going to get swallowed up by the time you're going to do till you post that bond. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right, Ms. Wilson, good luck to you. I'll be seeing you. Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah,
have a good-
have a good meeting.
Perfect timing.
Yes, that young lady's having some struggles. She pled to a traffic violation with the time served. Now we've got Mr. Eicher while we're waiting for Miss Oswald.
I think he's in a wheelchair, so they're gonna have to adjust the camera.
He says that he's able to stand up behind the chair.
Oh, okay.
I can stand at the table too. So.
I don't think I can adjust your camera from my end.
No, I'm sure there's a way to do it on mine. I just don't know how to do it. Can you stand up there now?
Get the hammer out.
Then if you just take one step over.
Mr. Eicher, if it's more comfortable, you can just sit down and turn around and look at me in the mirror
Can you stand up?
or in the window.
Let's take one step over here. I can turn this chair around for you. All right. All right.
Pokey, pokey.
There you go. And you can use my arm if you need to. I'm not gonna light up, I promise.
All right, I can see you in the mirror. Have a seat. I don't want you.
There we go.
All right, can you see me?
Yeah.
How do I look?
I'm gonna walk up before he answers that. You're kind of fuzzy, really.
All right, yeah.
I don't have my glasses, so.
That's me. I'm kind of fuzzy. All right, Mr. Eicher, this is file 211230SD. You got charged with open intoxicants, second offense. I've been kind of had my eyes on this because I'm the sobriety court judge and I knew that you had been arrested. You had a pretrial this.
It was operating while intoxicated, Mr. Eicher. He misspoke, sorry.
What did I say?
Okay.
Open intoxicants.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's operating while intoxicated. I'm looking at it and I don't know why I saw it as open, OPER it says here. So operating while intoxicated, second offense, that's a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 93 days, up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. Prosecutor, as I understand it, is going to recommend that you participate in our sobriety court treatment program, which would entail the fact that you would have to get an evaluation. Now, let me tell you some things that you need to know. All you have to do is tell me, Mr. Eicher, and I can appoint an attorney to assist you with this. Do you understand?
Yes.
Maybe the public defender was with you this morning, but are you going to plead to operating while intoxicated second offense?
Yeah.
All right. And I told you what the punishment it is. Also requires your license be suspended. However, if you are in a certified sobriety court program, we may be able to help you get a license with an interlock.
Okay.
If you do plead to this matter, you're going to be giving up your right to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. There will be no trial if you plead to this. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. I told you that. All you do is ask me. You can hire an attorney of your own choosing. If you had a trial, you'd have the right to take the witness stand and testify on your own behalf. You don't have to because you have a right not to testify. And if you did not wish to testify, the judge or jury cannot hold your silence against you. You have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court so they could be questioned under oath. And you have the right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yes.
No, I think they put this in my queue. Why are you in a wheelchair right now?
I have spinal stenosis and
Do you have a wheelchair vehicle? Do you have a handicap assisted vehicle?
No, I use a walker at home. I'm on medication for my shakes, and as you can probably tell, I'm shaking real bad, but I can't have the medication here for some reason.
Deborah, is there an agreement regarding his bond?
Again, he wasn't represented this morning. It was just a pre-trial with myself, but I did tell him that he could bring up requesting a bond reduction. He is on disability for his spinal stenosis. He's been in custody, I believe, about 15 days. And
Yeah, he got arrested on June 14th.
he said he has a doctor's, he says he has a doctor's appointment on the 7th. I don't have any opposition to the court granting a PR bond. I discussed with him the concern about alcohol and how it's not allowed while you're on bond and that testing may be required that is in Three Rivers. And he expressed that he understood that and that he's willing to go test if needed. So with that, I figured I'd leave it to the court regarding his bond.
Mr. Eicher, were you driving a car out on Featherstone, where was this?
This was
Kroger Plaza in Sturgis?
Yes.
On June 14th, had you been drinking?
I drank 10 hours before. Was my
Didn't
last drink.
What the blood alcohol was?
0.25.
What were you drinking?
A vodka. I had the last 3 swallows. And I went into town to get a prescription when I decided to take Chinese home. And I was sitting in the parking lot when the officer pulled up, looking over the menu.
Well, it's scary that you can function at that high of a level at a 0.25 blood alcohol level several hours after your last drink. Tell me more about your medical. Tell me about your medical appointments.
Right now, I just have one the 7th. I don't know what time. It's in my phone, but I don't have that.
If I let you out on bond, will someone come pick you up?
Yes.
I'm going to reduce the bond to $2,500 PR with all the same conditions. No drugs, no alcohol, test as requested. That's somewhat unrealistic. Now, you've had 14 days to go through the shakes, but you got to take your meds that are prescribed, but you're not supposed to mix alcohol with those medications. I'm going to set the sentence for August 15th. We're going to have to set up an evaluation.
Okay.
Just a minute. Mr. Eicher, do you come from an Amish family?
Yeah.
How long have you been?
I was Amish until I was 3 years old.
All right, and then, okay, and now you're in the English world. Are you still at Featherstone Road address?
Correct, yes.
Phone number ends in 1893.
That'd be my cell, yes.
All right, I'm gonna do an order reducing your bond to 2,000 PR. It's 3:30. I'm gonna have the staff come get it. You're gonna be booked out by 5 o'clock. The probation department is gonna contact you regarding scheduling this screening. You have to get an assessment at Community Mental Health and do some things to see whether you qualify for the program and then see whether you even want to do it. But I will see you on August 15th. We may need to do it live here at the courthouse. That'll be at 11 a.m. All right, Mr. Eicher, do you have any questions?
Will I get that on paper?
Yes, we're going to send it to your house on Featherstone Road.
All right, very good. Yeah, thank you.
All right, now you've had 14 days to get sober. Those first couple of days must have been pretty rough. I have somewhat unrealistic expectations when I tell you I want you to get out and not drink. But at some point, you got to stop, and you had a 14-day forced head start. My other option is to just leave you in jail until August 15th. That's not great. You've got health problems, you've got medical problems, you need your medication. If you're on disability. All right, well, you're going to sleep in your own bed tonight, but do it sober, okay?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
All right. We'll be in contact. All right, you're good to go.
Good luck, Mr. Eicher.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Deborah. It's very helpful to have you there. I had 3 or 4 pre-trials today that everybody needed an instant pre-trial. Thank you, Deputy Tyler. One guy drove all the way here from Coldwater. One guy was from Illinois, and I had to tell them all they had to come back for a pre-trial. They were like no ops, and no proof of insurance. And it would be helpful if we could at least get a plea offer sheet. I'm gonna send an email to David and just explain what happened, but we had 4 cases that probably could have been resolved if we'd had the ability. So again, I appreciate your being there just now with that case. We resolved it. We got to address the issue of bond, and it's very helpful to have you here.
I think that's it for me then, correct? We've covered
Well,
all
I've got Mr. Reed is the next 2 cases, unless you want to get in on those.
I think that he gets paid.
All right. All right. Thank you for your help with those other cases. Okay.
No problem.
All right. Alyssa, is that you?
Yeah.
All right. This is Judge Middleton. The prosecutor, Mr. Reed, is here. We're waiting for your lawyer, Ms. Hines, to log back in, but you're right on time. And I'm going to put you in the waiting room. We'll be ready to go in just a minute, okay?
Okay.
I can hear you and see you. All right, that's a start. Jenny, could you come in and let me give you that Iker file?
You got some goodies for me?
Well, this guy got to reduce his bond.
You have lots of goodies.
I don't want to make sure I got these organized, but I think I can give you a couple of them. I set that for 8:15. I keep writing June.
I know.
I have trouble in what year it is, but every month I should mess up. All right, here's Lori Hines, so we can start that. Here's this one. And then that Wilson girl, I took care of her too. Thanks.
You're welcome. You want me to leave those?
Yeah, I want to give them to you in better shape.
All right. Thank you, Judge. I don't think I have to scan, do I?
Welcome back, Lori. Your client logged in a timely manner, and she's here. Mr. Reed is here, and he'll rejoin us. This is file 202150, People versus Alyssa Oswald. Ms. Oswald is charged with being a disorderly person in Sturgis way back in September of 2020. Defendant missed some court hearings and got arrested. I guess just once. I think she's done 1 day in jail. TJ, if you could rejoin us. Alyssa was here yesterday in front of Judge Pattison, and she had another charge of domestic violence and disturbing the peace, which is to be set for an attorney pretrial. The offer in this case, I think, I need to wait for TJ. Was this the one the offer was time served, Lori? I can't remember. It was a whole hour ago.
Offer of a civil infraction of disturbing the peace, which is an ordinance in the city of Sturgis.
I wasn't sure TJ agreed to that. Maybe it was I get the Mandy Allen case mixed up. As soon as TJ rejoins us, we can address this. Ms. Oswald, do you have any objection to appearing remotely here by Zoom?
No.
Most people don't. They'd rather appear from their own home than have to drive over here to court. Before the COVID situation turned our world upside down, I would have been looking across the room at you at the podium. Now I'm doing it this way, and most defendants prefer this. We're in a changed world. I got some information today with some instruction on how to proceed going forward, but we have to study that. TJ must be ordering pizza or something, but he should be with us momentarily. Oh,
There we go.
all right, thank you, Mr. Reed, for rejoining us. I'm trying to make better notes on my earlier files, kind of get rushed. This is file 202150, People versus Elisa Oswald. She's been here waiting for us. Charge was disorderly person under the city of Sturgis. I believe she spent 1 day in jail. She got cited and then she missed a hearing date after a show cause, and she got picked up on June 14th and released the next day. Ms. Hines had requested a civil infraction disturbing the peace. My recollection was your offer was simply time served. She has a new charge of domestic violence and disturbing the peace that she had a pretrial on yesterday, 211128SM. She's asked to have counsel appointed, and that matter is going to be set for further proceedings. Mr. Reed, what's the plea offer in this case?
As charged, time served recommendations.
All right, so 1 day credit, 1 day with a fine. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Hines represented that you were quite upset about the circumstances. However, Mr. Reed felt that the officers didn't abuse or didn't deserve what they got. Your attorney's opinion is the officers weren't listening to what you had to say. At any rate, the prosecutor is offering a plea to disturbing the peace, which is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail, fine of up to $100. He's recommending that I offer time served, which is 1 day in jail and a fine. Laura, do you want an opportunity to discuss that with her?
Yes.
All right. Let me start over here. Getting a little pungy here at the end of the day. All right, Ms. Hines, you're going to go into a separate room with your lawyer. It'll say join, and she'll have a chance to discuss this plea offer with you. I had a bunch of no-shows this morning, and I was bemoaning the fact that things have disintegrated, the fact that we can't make it any easier for people than to call in, and I'm frustrated when people don't show up. It is so inefficient.
Oh, yeah, it becomes a crazy pain.
Well, as you know, we line up the prosecutor, the defense attorney, the judge, the public defender. We're ready to go. We got to get the file out, get it back out, do an order to show cause, send them another notice. It's just very inefficient.
Yes. Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be back to normal soon.
Well, I don't know if it'll get better or worse. I mean, if they aren't going to show up by telephone, I don't imagine they'd get up and drive over to Centerville.
Well, I think they get you. I think it's used to the fact that I don't know. I think people need to learn and know that same as before. Now they're gonna come get you. They're gonna arrest you for a bench warrant for not showing up.
I'll accept that offer.
She will accept it. All right. All right, Miss Oswald. Might as well be in for a penny, in for a pound. Let me tell you what your rights are. You've probably heard this before, but if you plead guilty to a misdemeanor offense, even a minor one like this, you give up your right to have a trial. If you had a trial, you would have the right to take the witness stand and testify in your own behalf. You would have the right to have any witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court, so they could be questioned under oath. You would have the right not to testify if you did not wish to testify. If you didn't want to testify, the judge or the jury couldn't hold it against you. You'd have a right to have Ms. Hines or other attorney of your own choosing to represent you in this matter. You'd also have a right to be presumed innocent if and until the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. This happened way last September 25th. That's my son Alex's birthday. Also, a number of other people have that birthday. Michael Douglas has that birthday. Catherine Zeta-Jones, his wife, has that birthday. And a bunch of other famous people seem to have been born on September 25th. At any rate, there was a disturbance in Sturgis. You were upset about something. Did you end up getting into a quarrel or argument with the police and some other people? Can you hear me? Elisa?
There we go.
Exception, or if it was like a glitch or something.
Okay. Well, what happened that day?
What happened was, okay, so my baby daddy told me to come over and stay the night and whatnot. So we were trying to work on things. So I go over there and stay the night. Well, then the next morning I wake up and he's super mad, like super mad at me. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just leave. Well, then right before I left, he grabbed a hold of me and he started ripping my pants off and everything like that. And I'm like, stop. And then he
Alyssa, let me caution you here. We're on YouTube, but did you get into it with the cops?
Yeah, because they weren't listening to me. I kept sitting there telling them that he ripped my pants off and threw me outside, and I kept telling him to, I kept telling the cops, I'm not talking to no one until I get my pants. And the cops were just like, well, come over here and talk to us. I get there trying to diffuse the situation, but they should have been more worried about my pants, not being on my body.
Okay. They didn't take you to jail, did they? They just gave you a ticket?
No, they did take me to jail.
To Centerville?
No, they took me to the holding in Sturgis.
All right, well, we'll call that a day. 2 days, credit 2 days. The municipal departments used to have their own little cell. It's Three Rivers and Sturgis and Constantine. You could go to jail in Three Rivers, but there's so much liability and issues about holding people in custody. That's ancient. But when I first started, Three Rivers and Sturgis each had their own jail. All right, Elisa, I'm going to fine you $0. There's a $75 crime victims' rights fee and a $50 state minimum fee. Now you've got a new charge pending. We're going to get an attorney to help you with this. But you owe $125. I'm going to make that due by, can you pay that by August 30th?
That's in a month?
Yeah, no, 2 months, July and August.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'll make it August 31. It's only $125. I can't even make it any lower than that.
Right.
All right. Are you still at the Lafayette Street address?
Yep. It's 703. I don't know if you guys wrote it down wrong. I called the friend of the court and changed it too.
All right. Okay, I'll correct it. Do you have any questions?
No.
All right. You owe $125. This is going to show as a minor misdemeanor of disorderly person under Sturgis ordinance. You got the other case, which is a domestic violence case. They'll send you a notice of when that pretrial is, but this case is over and done with. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You're good to go.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. I'd hate to be outside with no pants on either. I guess whatever happened, there's probably more to the story, but we were able to resolve that. Thank you both. That completes Lori's obligation. Now we need Mr. Gibson and Miss Allen.
Is she even going to show up?
Well, I hope so. I let her out of jail.
When was this set?
It might have been set when I let her out for jail because I knew you were already going to be here.
Right.
She got picked up. She'd been in jail for a couple days. I saw her. I said, if I let you out, will you show up for court? I saw that you were scheduled for 3:15, so I set this for 3:30, knowing that you were already going to be here.
Right. So she's not, because it's 3:45 right now.
No, it's set for 3:45.
Oh, okay.
But the answer is, I don't know if she's going to show up or not. Maybe
Well, her offer is as charged, so I guess, or disturbing the peace. She can have a disturbing the peace.
All right, and that's what you said.
Yeah.
And she already did 3 days in jail.
Yeah, again, I'm not necessarily, I mean, she's just in a bad way. I think again, we're totally fine with that. I think that probably makes the most sense for everybody.
And it was a strange set of facts. Yes?
This is a Branch County Special Prosecutor on that. So we said zoom in when you can. He wants to put a just a plea on the record. So.
Well, I'm just learned that I'm 45 minutes late for Branch County.
For what?
They said it was fine. Sarah was very nice to me.
Okay.
Sarah can be nice. You tell Sarah that, she has to be nice. You're a judge. What's she going to do? Say, get here now?
Well, the last time I called in, it was chasing our tails around, trying to find the guy. Now I got to sit here and wait and see whether she's going to show up and Paul's going to show up. So I don't know how this got set here. It's a Branch County case, and it got set right in the middle of our pre-trials and nobody caught it. Except I thought they were going to zoom into me rather than me zoom into them. So,
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, you're good to go.
I'm going to go. If you need me, shoot me an email.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, Mr. Gibson.
Good afternoon.
Have you had any contact with this client?
Let's see. I know that I tried to call her yesterday. I'm just trying to remember if it was either I left a message or if it. I believe I left a message for her or sent her a text, and I haven't heard from her.
Well, I'm distressed. I let her out of jail. This is file 2019480M versus Mandy Allen. Mandy's been struggling. She was in jail for 2 or 3 days. I did a polycom. You were present, I believe. I don't remember. I think you were present. We talked to her. I let her out. I told her the hearing was today at 3:45, and you were very gracious to show up for that. And then she didn't contact you and she didn't show up, which has been her pattern of late. She's struggling with methamphetamine. I'm gonna do a bench warrant. No bond, well, I have to set a bond, bench warrant.
Can I try to call her really quick just to make sure the same thing happens?
All right.
Since
Go
we have
ahead.
the 48-hour rule.
Yes, we do. I'd have to hold it for 2 days. One problem is I just learned I'm supposed to be in the Branch County Court 45 minutes ago. So yeah, go ahead and give her a call and see if you can get through.
Okay, no, I was not, now I remember I was not able to get in touch with her, but I did send her a text because it says there's restrictions on the line, so I didn't know if that meant I could text her, but
We told her in open court when it was, bond is $500, cash or surety with a 48-hour hold.
if I can reach her before Tuesday morning, I will let you know.
All right, thank you.
Thank
You were with me when we talked to her. Maybe I was being too generous to try to get her out of jail. Should have just held on to her, but all right. We'll check to make sure she's not in LaGrange County Jail also. All right, thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to stop our live feed. I've got to log into another course.